Well, good morning, Central Georgia. Meteorologist David Guerrero filling in for meteorologist Alex Pry, who's currently on a well-deserved vacation. Now, it's been a cold morning so far. We've had temperatures below freezing for much of the morning. Now those temperatures have warmed up to the 50s, but we also have mostly clear weather, and we also had a beautiful sunrise today. I know yesterday we had a beautiful sunrise. Alex Pry posted it on Facebook. Wonderful stuff. And we had much of the same today, and the skies are completely clear all throughout Central Georgia. We're seeing blue skies in the National Fairgrounds, Warner Robins, and in Macon. Same thing in Dublin. Now let's look at the current conditions right now in Macon. 57 degrees is the current number. Feels like 57 with the winds coming from the west at 7 miles per hour. So the winds are not strong enough to really cause a wind chill. And it's been breezy all throughout the past couple of days, and especially on Wednesday. Wednesday was a gusty day. We had gusts up to 25 miles per hour. Thankfully today we're not expecting much of that. We will expect a gust up to 15 miles per hour throughout today. So all in all, it's going to be a fantastic Friday. We will warm up even more into the lower 60s by 2 to 3 o'clock. And now tomorrow, and for overall the weekend, I'd say the weekend is going to be great in general. Most of the day is going to be mostly clear to partly cloudy. We do have a small sprinkle chance tomorrow evening and for Sunday early morning. Once again, it's only a small sprinkle chance. We're not expecting any downpours or widespread activity, and most of the rain, if anything falls, will occur throughout the late night and throughout Sunday early morning, meaning that most people are going to be asleep for when the rain falls. Then, of course, the next story after that, temperatures will drop quickly on Sunday, specifically Sunday evening. We'll have gusty winds move in. We'll have gusts of up to 25 miles per hour, similar to Wednesday, throughout that night, and temperatures will quickly plummet. So we can expect feels like temperatures on Sunday evening to be in the lower 20s. Actual temperatures will be in the lower 20s on Monday morning. But of course, with the wind chill continuing, we'll have wind chill values into the teens. So basically, Sunday night, Monday is going to be an extremely cold stretch, some of the coldest weather that we've seen so far this season. Now looking at yesterday's almanac, we had temperatures into the mid-50s. It was cooler than Wednesday. Now I will say this afternoon is going to be way warmer than yesterday. Lows were in the lower 30s. We were colder this morning as well. So we were below average yesterday. I'd say afternoon highs maybe above average this afternoon. But of course we know lows this morning were extremely cold and way below the average that we typically see for this time of year. The satellite radar is completely empty, clear weather throughout. And of course, if we zoom out the view, we have clear weather for much of the southeast. Alabama, clear throughout the state. Same thing for Florida, mostly clear in Mississippi, in Louisiana, Arkansas, and in Texas. And this is all due to a high pressure system keeping us nice and clear. And we also have this nearby low pressure system, and you can really see the atmospheric setup just by the clouds. So we have this low pressure system, we have a cold front draped over Oklahoma. We also have a stationary front that is parked along the southeast, and you can see the clouds towards the north, just north of that front. Same thing with the clouds just north of Oklahoma, in Kansas, and in Missouri as well. And also another way you can spot the front is through the temperatures. So you can see cold air being confined towards the north, seeing upper 20s in Kansas City, Wichita, lower 30s, mid 40s in Oklahoma City, lower 50s in Little Rock, and then towards our neck of the woods, Charlotte, lower 40s, 56 degrees in Charleston. Now we're in the upper 50s, but if we compare this to Charleston, temperatures are nearly 15 degrees colder than if we go a little bit north in North Carolina, Virginia Beach, upper 30s, and mid 30s in Washington. So that stationary front is really holding that cold air towards the north, and we will be a little bit warmer on our side towards the southern side of the United States. So we'll be into the 60s later this afternoon. Current temperatures all across the Peach State. You can see that front, 50s in Athens and then 44 degrees in Columbia. But once again, you go south of Athens and Atlanta, we're having, once again, dealing with the warmer air, upper 50s down in the Albany area, 60s in Tallahassee, Pensacola, and in Jacksonville. Locally, all of us are pretty consistent throughout. We're into the 50s, lower 50s in Gordon, So lower 50s towards the north of I-16, warmer stuff towards the south. And if we compare this to 24 hours ago, it is a warm-up, seeing values 9 to even 7 degrees warmer than this time yesterday. Now, when I showed this graphic earlier this morning when most of the temperatures were below freezing, well, we had a massive cool down. We had values 10 to 15 degrees colder than that time yesterday. So the temperature differences have been quite grand so far today. And hour by hour, we will continue to warm up. After midday, we'll be into the lower 60s. And once again, our afternoon highs should be around 63 degrees. Now, winds are generally calm all throughout central Georgia. Sustained winds, and the max sustained winds are 10-mile-per-hour sustained winds in Butler and a 7-mile-per-hour sustained wind in Macon. Once again, nothing compared to what we had on Wednesday. And it feels like temperatures are not really seeing much of a difference because of how calm the winds are as of right now. So today is going to be a mostly sunny day, a grand day, and it'll be warmer than yesterday with afternoon highs into the lower 60s. So we should be a degree or two above average for this time of year. And then once again, not as breezy as the past couple of days, but we could see an occasional gust of up to 15 miles per hour. So here's a look at the future view. So today is going to be a fantastic day. We're not going to expect much, mostly clear weather throughout the rest of the morning, throughout the rest of the afternoon, and throughout the rest of the evening. So if you have any plans to go to any of the rescheduled parades, the Cochran Parade and the Telfair County Parade, you should be good to go. Don't worry about any rain at all. We get into tomorrow morning. Mostly clear weather persists, and it's going to be fantastic for the Warner Robins Parade. May see an occasional cloud or two, but it should be mainly dry. And then we get into the afternoon, clouds will start to roll in. By the late night, by 10 o'clock, may see a sprinkle or two. Once again, not expecting any downpours or any widespread activity. You can see a couple of blips of light green, meaning light rain at most. This will happen late night tomorrow and early morning Sunday. Now, once again, most of this is going to happen when y'all are inside or y'all are asleep. So if you have any outdoor plans throughout this weekend, they're not going to be affected at all by any of the rain. So they should be good to go. If you have any plans or you're about to make plans, I suggest you do so for this weekend because it's going to be a great weekend overall. So the rest of Sunday, I sort of skipped over it, but once again, it's going to be a mostly sunny end to Sunday. Then Monday, starting off the day, mostly sunny and clear. Looking at another model, it's going to show the same thing. Clear weather throughout the rest of today, clear weather throughout most of tomorrow, and then it has light sprinkles for Sunday early morning. This just reinforces the fact that most of you are going to be asleep when the light rain occurs, so it's not going to affect any of the plans. So the weekend forecast recapped, we're going to have, once again, a 20% chance of rain late night tomorrow. Sunday early morning, that 20% chance of rain continues. Now, in terms of the temperatures, we will warm up tomorrow. We'll have temperatures into the upper 60s throughout tomorrow afternoon, getting close to the 70s. So you may come out of tomorrow afternoon with just a t-shirt and shorts. I think that may be acceptable. You could be comfortable throughout that time because it's not going to be overtly cold. But then once we get into Sunday, we'll start to see a cool down with temperatures going back into the lower 50s. Morning lows for both of these days are going to stay pretty consistent into the upper 30s for both of these mornings. But once again, the afternoon highs will experience a big change, especially throughout Sunday. We'll have even colder temperatures for the start of the work week. And I'll show you that coming up. Now, the long range future, it just shows that most of next week is going to be a quiet week in general. Here's a look at Monday, mostly sunny. Tuesday, mostly sunny as well. Wednesday, repeating the same dance, mostly sunny weather. The only weather that we are tracking for next week is next Thursday night and Friday early morning. You can see the Euro model, the blue model right here, showing a frontal boundary moving through, providing some rainfall throughout that time. It's a little too early to know what the specifics will be. But right now we have a general idea that we could have some rain throughout that time period. But another thing that's also making this a little bit of a complicated forecast is that the GFS model is not showing anything at all. So we have model disagreement. We don't have confidence within the model showing that we will for sure have rain throughout that time. So right now we have generally a low chance of rain throughout Thursday night, Friday morning. And then once we start to see model agreement, that's when we'll start to increase our rain chances and increase our certainty that we will see rain throughout Thursday night, Friday morning. But if the timing is right here, we could see another round of rain, but throughout, once again, late night, Friday, early morning, when most people are going to be asleep. So that would be ideal because we don't want any plans or we don't want you to be impacted by the rain, but we really need the rain here in central Georgia. Now here is a model look at how much rain we could receive throughout the weekend. Earlier today, it said that we could potentially get 1/10 of an inch of rain for our southern counties. Now it's showing just trace amounts of rain for our most southern counties. So this also just goes to show, once again, if any rain falls, it's going to be extremely light, couple drops of rain, not enough to really dampen any outdoor plans. Here's another model. This is the Euro model. The only place where it shows only a trace or a 1/10 of an inch of rain is towards our west in Columbus. Here in central Georgia, you can see a bunch of zeros. That just means that we will barely receive anything. If anything falls, we may just receive a couple of drops of rain throughout the weekend. Now, to recap the rainfall throughout this month, of course, we know that last week was quite a rainy week. We had a couple of days that we had an inch of rain, and then a couple of days where we had just 1/10 of an inch of rain. Now, it's been, I'd say, a quarter of the way through the month, and we've already received an inch and a half, over an inch and a half of rain, which is a good thing. And our average rainfall for this month is around 4 inches of rain. However, I just showed you the extended forecast throughout next week, and we're really not seeing any impressive rain chances throughout that time. So once again, we really need the rain because it doesn't look like we'll get any throughout the near future. Now, once again, we only have an inch and a half of rain so far. The average is around 4.5 inches, but we are doing better than September. September, we barely received any rain, only 1/3 of an inch of rain for the entire month of September. Typically, September receives around 3.5 inches of rain, but this doesn't excuse the fact that we're underperforming in the rain department, and we can easily see that with the drought monitor. Now, we had hopes that last week's rain would definitely help the drought monitor, at least put us into a moderate drought for all of central Georgia. Now, the drought conditions improved slightly. For those of you who remember last week, parts of our southern counties were in an extreme drought. Now, most of central Georgia are within a severe drought. So slight improvement, but still we're not in a good situation overall because, once again, most of central Georgia are within a severe drought, and we really need this to get improved. We need this to turn into a moderate drought or an abnormally dry, or get us into an abnormally dry conditions, since we won't receive much rain over the near future. So we're really hoping that we can get a downpour or really some much needed rain at least throughout this month. Now, looking at the temperature outlook, well, I mentioned that we will experience a cool down throughout next week, throughout the start of the next work week. However, much of the near future, much of the next 7 days, we are going to be near normal. Portions of our northern counties are going to be below normal. But once again, we are going to experience that one day where we'll have that extreme temperature drop. So here's a look at the afternoon highs over the next couple of days. So we will experience a brief warm up. I mentioned this afternoon is going to be slightly warmer than yesterday. Yesterday we had temperatures in the mid-50s. We'll be into the lower 60s this afternoon. By tomorrow, we'll be into the upper 60s, flirting with the 70s. And once again, I mentioned a couple slides ago, could come out of tomorrow with t-shirts and shorts weather. But by Sunday, that's going to change. We'll have a cool down where afternoon highs will be into the lower 50s. By Monday, we'll have afternoon highs into the mid-40s, some of the lowest afternoon highs this year so far. And then on Tuesday, temperatures will then rebound quickly to the mid-50s. And by the second half of this week, we'll have temperatures around average for this time of year. Morning lows are going to be around average for this time of year. So tomorrow morning we'll have upper 30s, once again around average or a degree above average. mid to upper 30s on Sunday. Now here's where the cool down really really begins to influence us. Monday, we'll have morning lows into the lower 20s. Same thing on Tuesday. Now, I mentioned that breezy weather is going to take place Sunday evening and will continue throughout Monday morning. So we could see wind chill values into the teens for Monday morning. So the start of the work week is just going to be downright cold. Make sure to have your best coat picked out because you're going to need it for the start of the next work week. So I mentioned that we will have breezy weather for the start of the next work week. Let's just take a look at the winds over the next couple of days. So I mentioned that we could potentially have a 15-mile-per-hour gust possible throughout the afternoon. Here are the model data supporting that. So this could happen throughout the early afternoon. It will die down by the late afternoon, early evening. By tomorrow, things will be generally calm, which is a good thing. But then by midday, we'll have an occasional gust of up to 11 to even 15 miles per hour throughout the afternoon. Then by Sunday, here's that front moving on in, causing that cooler air to really be ushered into our area. And you can see gusts of up to 22 miles per hour throughout Sunday. So that's going to cause wind chill values to be really downright cold throughout Sunday, especially throughout Sunday evening. So here's a look at the feels like temperatures. Really, it won't matter for the next couple of days because the winds are not going to be that bad. But once the 25-mile-per-hour winds come through on Sunday, notice at 9 o'clock we'll have feels like temperatures already into the mid-20s. So once again, downright cold. Here's a look at the humidity day by day. Humidity, really in the season of winter, it's really consistent throughout. It's dry. You have humidity values already into the 40s, and that's when you start to really need the chapsticks. We're going to see an uptick in humidity by tomorrow. We'll see dew point values into the 50s. By Sunday, it's going to drop down into the 40s and even into the 30s in some spots. So this is going to be extremely dry. You definitely could use your chapstick for the near future, especially for this season. So here are the Christmas parade forecasts. So of course, Cochrane Christmas Parade, that's going to happen tonight, Friday at 7 o'clock. And it's going to be a wonderful time, mostly clear weather, and you'll have temperatures into the upper 40s. Not so cold, but still, it's still worthy of needing a jacket. Overall, the conditions are going to be fantastic for everyone in Bleckley County. And here's a look at the main parade that we're gonna have in Central Georgia, the Warner Robins Christmas Parade. And the morning team, the morning crew, they're gonna be there. Connor Hendricks and Megan Western, they're gonna be out live at Watson Boulevard commenting, and you can watch that live on 13 WMAZ+. The weather should be fantastic. We'll have temperatures into the lower 50s, way warmer than the temperatures that we're experiencing right now. And we're also going to have partly cloudy to mostly clear weather. And this says sprinkles can't be ruled out, but with the latest model data, it's looking like the chances for sprinkles in the morning are dwindling. So don't worry about any rain. It's going to be a dry day overall. And once again, enjoy all the things that the Warner Robins Christmas Parade has to offer. We also have other Christmas parades going on. We have the Telfair County Christmas Parade. That's also happening tonight at 6 o'clock. Temperatures will be into the lower 50s. A great time, very similar to the conditions that the people in Cochrane will experience. Centerville, they may have a sprinkle chance. I show you all the data. If we do have any rain in Central Georgia, maybe a couple drops of rain. So don't let the icon intimidate you. It should be a mainly dry event. We'll have temperatures into the mid 50s. So it's not going to be that cold as well. So even with the rainy icon here, don't be alarmed. The Centerville Christmas Parade is also going to be an amazing time. Here's a look at the 7-day forecast. Just to recap things, it's going to be a fantastic day today. We're going to have mostly clear conditions throughout the rest of the morning, afternoon, and into the evening. Temperatures will be warmer than yesterday, into the lower 60s. By tomorrow, most of the day should be nice and dry, especially in the morning for the Warner Robins Christmas Parade. We'll have temperatures in the afternoon into the upper 60s, potentially flirting with the 70s. Now, the warm temperatures, that's not going to continue at all. Especially for the new week, we're going to experience a cool down on Sunday. Afternoon highs will be into the lower 50s, but of course with the winds expected to be around 25 miles per hour, that's going to cause wind chill values to be lower than that. Wind chill value should be into the 20s by Sunday late night. By Monday morning, wind chill values could be into the teens. Actual morning lows will be into the lower 20s, and afternoon highs will be into the mid 40s. So Sunday and Monday could be some of the coldest temperatures that we've seen so far this year. Tuesday will start to rebound slightly. Tuesday morning will be into the lower 20s, then mid 50s by Tuesday afternoon, and then rebounding back to average by Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, we have a low rain chance as of right now at just 20%.